whole life, I prepared my son to lead humanity in the fight against the machines.
On this night, we take back our world!
But there was one thing I could never prepare him for.
The machines tried to rig the game. Send a Terminator back to the time before the war to kill my mother.
I'll go back. Let me save her.
This is better than the last two movies, but that's really not that hard to do. Even though when the Terminator Salvation came out, I gave that a full price, but we won't talk about that. Martin coerced me into doing that. But this one right here, it is almost like wiping a clean slate. And here, this really centers on Kyle Reese, played by Jai Courtney. And we're traveling mostly with him, again, back in time where he's trying to prevent Sarah Connor from being killed so that John Connor, who's leading the revolution of the humans against the cyborgs and robots, where he's trying to keep, where they were trying to keep John Connor from being born, he's trying to save that. Except this time, going back, they see Sarah Connor. She's like, bitch, I don't need you.
True.
Shit, this is the new age. I can take care of myself. In fact, I'm about to save your ass, which she does several times. So what you see here is that you have something where they're playing with things that we've seen before in the last films, but also twisting around with these characters, several of them, making them more independent. Some of these characters are not the good people that you remember from the last films. And I would say that that's one of the things that they do well in the movie, is that they come in and they are able to play with time in some places. And not only are they going in and repeating certain events, but the director went in and actually, you could tell he did his research. He looked at little details to see, like, all right, maybe I can't make these people from the first one look the same and don't want to. It's a different timeline. But as many details as I can get right, such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, a young Arnold Schwarzenegger, in this clip that you're about to see, they actually get that down. It's an impressive effect. And they're also, the scene works that I'm about to show you because it's a great way of introducing some of the new elements that they have in store.
Nice night for a walk, eh?
Nice night for a walk.
Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right?
Nothing clean. Right.
Yeah, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Your clothes. Give them to me. Now.
You won't be needing any clothes.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! It's him!
I've been waiting for you.
I like that. That's the motherfucker that's gonna get killed right there. You know?
It's funny because in the first movie, that was Bill Paxton in that role right there.
And you know what? And that's the good thing about it. Like, really, people, when you heard that chun 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 chun, I mean, people in the theater, they were like, "Oh fuck!" We saw the trailer. We know it's coming up. People were shit like, "Oh shit! It's the old Terminator. It's coming to whoop ass. He's still a good guy." And I was like that. And a lot of other people were excited too because you notice that what I'm talking about? That attention to detail. Now, it's not the same guys, but you can see it tried to do as much as they can to bring that in. And some people were upset about that because they're saying, even though I thought it was a cool thing not to try to repeat it to a T, some people are like, man, why didn't you bring Bill Paxton back and make him young?
Yeah, probably because he said no.
Nice night for a walk.
Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, right?
Nothing clean, right.
Okay, you know
what?
what?
Find anybody to look that fucking weird.
I know. It's like, and even the director said, look, y'all can get mad at me all you want to, but Bill Paxton looks fucking stupid in that first movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way gang members dressed in 80s movies.
Yeah,
right.
He's like, you got a goofball with a tire track on his face and blue spiked hair. He's like, the director said, I don't give a fuck. Y'all can get mad at me all you want to. I'm not doing that. And yeah, Bill Paxton said, no, I don't really want to do that either.
Yeah. And you expect the Terminator to ask, like, what band are you in?
Yeah. And you know what he would say? Green Day. You know, that's what made me mad. That's what made me mad. I was like, look, y'all, I don't mind if you change the line and making them different punks, but did y'all really have to go and get a Green Day like fake cover band to come in and do that shit? Got those fools looking just like them, man. And that's what Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton said, "Man, I worked hard to get where I am today. I'm not going back looking like some fucking dumbass, you know, gap in my mouth, tire track on my fucking face, look like a bicycle just ran over my head, look like a toddler in a big wheel just ran over my fucking face."
And he was just like, "I'm so tough, I ain't even going to the hospital.
Yeah,
let's go out just like this."
Yeah, it was even the other dude looking stupid as they look at him.
Yeah.
Wonder who that actor became.
Nobody.
Woody Harrelson. But you know, it was good. That nostalgia, that feeling of, oh man, you're taking me back and you're actually being creative with it for about 15 minutes or so, because that's when the fan service came in. That's when the movie got into this mode of doing this thing of running into a pattern. It was fan service, action. Fan service, action. It's fan service, foot chase. Fan service, car chase. And you start to notice it early on in the movie where it doesn't feel creative anymore. Like when they bring the T-1000 in, the liquid metal man, it's like, oh, you know, our big thing, what do we do? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit, we made him Asian. How about that?
Come with me if you want to live. Now, soldier!
And see, you got the thing there, like, oh, in this timeline, they got him in the eye, just like they did in Terminator 2. And, oh, she said the big line, you know, come with me if you want to live. It should have been a lot cooler knowing that Sarah Connor was the one in control of that situation. But because they're pouring on all the fan service in that part, it felt like they were taking away from some of the more original parts of what they could have done.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with where you're coming from.
Well, fuck you then. No, I'm kidding,
You gonna
man.
say that every time?
Yes, I am, because I don't like you just
like this movie then.
But it's a different timeline, man.
Because it's not fan service just for fan service. It's to set up, because this all happens. Everything you see in the trailer, you're like, man, fan service. It's like, no, it's for the first 20 minutes because it's setting up that this is an alternate timeline where there's a lot of things that are exactly the same, but there's little differences here and there. And that's just setting the ground for everything that's like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's familiar, but don't expect this to go every place you think it's going to go, like the other movies did.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. For me,
I mean, if it wasn't part of the story, if it wasn't part of what they were setting up in this universe, I'd be right there with you to be like, hey, enough already. But you're dealing with time travel and these patterns that repeat. So for this, it works. And they only do that for the very first part of the film.
You know what? And I'm not even trying to make a joke. Maybe I just felt the shallowness of that scene because in addition to all the fan service, in addition to, you know, repeating the same lines, they did something that you always hate too. Product placement. And this is some of the most blatant product placement I've ever seen. Like they spent more time on this dude's Nike shoes than they did him escaping. Look at this. Oh yeah, got them Nike Skynets right there.
I don't know if you remember this, but that was an iconic scene from the first movie.
That long?
Yeah. Matter of fact, to prepare for the night show, I watched the first two movies right before coming here. And it's about that long, almost exactly like that, where his foot slowly comes down and he pulls the strip and it makes that sound. Because that was a scene, there was something about those shoes. When the movie first came out and everybody saw that, everybody had that found feeling like, man, those Nikes look badass. And even watching it again, got that same thing, and they just repeated that.
Were they Nikes?
Yeah, they were. Those particular Nikes, that exact style with the white strip that you have to pull, the Velcro to tighten them.
Well, anyway. God damn, I knew we should have watched that movie before I came here and tried to talk to you. I just knew you wouldn't watch the movie beforehand. And I wasn't
going to, and I discovered like, oh, I got time. I can actually squeeze both of them in before.
And talk shit to Korey, yeah. and just shut him down on every point that he makes.
That wasn't my goal.
Damn, you were like a Terminator. You were like a Terminator come back to stop me. I'm gonna watch this movie so I know what he says so I can just stop him at every turn. All right, fuck you. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right, you know what? That's fine. Shut the fuck up. Thing is, you were agreeing with me before he said anything. You were like a dude in church where I was like, man, they putting that product placement there. He was like, well, made my ass speechless. Couldn't do nothing for a minute. Shit, I was about to implode. Well, shit.
Shut down.
Does not compute. I just saw a red screen in my eyes just go blank.
Happens at the end of the second movie.
All right, just fucking stop it, all right?
Okay, all right. Well.
Yeah, exactly. Shut the fuck up. Well, I'm scared to bring up another point because I don't know how he's going to come after me. But I'll tell you what, let me mention something good then.
Okay.
Kind of good. What I like about this movie a lot, and I'm sure Martin and I can be in agreement on this very much, is that I love Schwarzenegger in this, and I'm a big Schwarzenegger fan anyway.
Sure.
And I've been there have been places where I've been biased towards a Schwarzenegger movie and given a little more credit because I admit it, I love Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
But you got to admit that in this movie, he's probably the emotional center of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In this film, he's a father figure now. And it feels real, but the relationship between him and Emilia Clarke, without spoiling, well, how much more can I spoil than the trailer already did? But he's adopted her as a Terminator and has sworn to protect her whatever life you can say he has, and for the rest of her life, or as long as he's around. And she's the only thing that he's ever known since she was about 9 years old.
Yeah, it's a playoff of what they did in Terminator 2. Where he was kind of like, he was close to fulfilling that role for John Connor. He was young.
Yeah.
And even Sarah was like, you know what? This has been the most he's had of a father because I dated all these losers up to this point. And it's almost like they took that and said like, hey, let's just run with it where he's, her father figure the whole time, her protector.
And what makes it cool is that you feel that emotion, you feel that protection, you feel that bond, you even feel the humor in this without him ever having to emote a whole lot. It's not because he's acting badly or anything. It's because of what the character calls for. And I think that makes Schwarzenegger the best actor in the film.
Everything's changed. The 1984 John sent you to, it no longer exists.
No, this is all wrong, all right? John sent me here to save you.
From the Terminator that was sent back to kill me, I know, but we already took care of him.
Shit!
Wait.
You're to kill you. Stay in the truck.
Shut your ass up.
Been doing this way longer than you.
Oh, great. That's just great.
I did not kill him.
But if I was Martin Thomas, I would. Because Martin hates John
Oh,
Courtney.
yeah, he despises him.
Yeah.
I would say right now I don't hate him.
Really? So this is the movie that turns you around?
No.
I heard this made people actually hate him.
Oh, I know.
What the fuck?
You see what I'm working with right now?
This makes no sense.
This is the most contrarian motherfucking person I've ever met.
Only because you're not letting me finish.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, brother, please.
I think in this movie that he's not good. I think he exposes himself to everyone to see like, yeah, he's like Sam Worthington 2.0, another Australian who can do an American accent but can't really bring anything to the table.
We didn't need another one of those.
No, we didn't. we didn't. The only thing that made me realize, I'm like, you know what? I think most of the time I don't like this guy just because I really hate the characters he plays all the time. And he's too good at playing those kind of generic, scowling, tough guys.
Yeah.
Here, I realized, like, he's not very good in this. Like, especially you go back, you watch Michael Biehn, and you're like, yeah, that guy brought something here. Problem with Jai Courtney is, if it's not on the page, you ain't getting nothing from him.
Yeah.
And here, a lot of it is not on the page for him. There's not a whole lot of really good stuff written for him, and he doesn't know how to step up and bring it.
And you know what? That's what I got to agree with here. I don't think. See, while we're talking about the Terminator himself, Schwarzenegger is supposed to be the emotional. Well, he is the emotional center here. It's really supposed to be Kyle Reese, Jai Courtney. He's supposed to be the one that you see everything through him. You experience the movie through him. He's a centerpiece, and he cannot. He just doesn't have the emotional range.
He doesn't.
For this movie, because if you're familiar with the Terminator series, you know that Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, they're the love story here. You know, it's an action film, but there's a love story here. And Jai Courtney and Emilia Clarke, I'm not even saying she's bad. She just when she's working with him in a script that just doesn't allow them to have those moments, it's a bad combination, and we don't get that.
You can't bring yourself to call the Khaleesi bad, is what it is. But
man, I cannot.
but both of them are pretty flat here. I mean, it
you
feels
dare
like,
insult my queen?
It feels like she's trying, but she ain't got a whole lot of range either. And he's below her. Like, the thing is, yeah, they are the heroes of the movie, and yet her, well, she's Sarah Connor. You want Sarah Connor to win only because you know that character. Him, you just kind of like, man, if I'm honest with myself, I kind of don't give a fuck whether you live or die.
It really is like that, man.
I mean, you know, Schwarzenegger is really what's, you know, he's the centerpiece. He's when he comes on and he very subtly says something or does something funny, it works. Yeah. I mean, you know, they found a plausible excuse to have, you know, old Schwarzenegger in there, which I said, you know, there's no reason they couldn't have it where that flesh technology couldn't age. You know, it would be realistic.
And that was a cool thing to see too.
Yeah. And as an old Terminator, he's hilarious. He's funny. I was like, man, just make the movie about him.
It really is, man, because he's the most charming fucking Terminator there has been.
Like, you want one.
You want one. You want one for your daddy.
Yeah.
You remember how your daddy was mean to you?
Yeah.
And you had those other daddies that they were, like you had other daddies that were, they weren't always happy. You know, they weren't always laughing. They weren't jovial, but they were never mean to their kids.
Right.
They stuck by their kids, and they got shit done. You know, if you fucking up at baseball, you know, and the coach was mean to you, he'd go there real calmly and be like, hey, quit fucking with my kid, you know.
Right.
I'll pull a Terminator on your ass.
Right.
You know, and there's certain, he's just like, because they have him in the movie doing certain things where he's becoming more emotional. Like they make him smile, you know. You know, it's like, and that's scary, but when you see it in the movie, it's like, wow, that's endearing, man.
Yeah.
Again, reminding that father that never smiled, never did anything, and why he never smiled, my father was actually like this. We had company that would come over, like my auntie would come over, and my father had to force that fucking smile to come on.
Did you hear it squeak?
Yeah, you actually heard that.
I get some WD-40 on it.
Like my dad just wanted to watch the game, but the preacher would come over and my father would be like, hey, pastor, how you doing today, brother? Be glad the motherfucker get the fuck out my house.
And my cheeks are hurting.
Yeah,
what is this?
Get this motherfucker out of here. You know, he really is a father figure that you envy, you want him there for yourself. And meanwhile, fucking Jai Courtney is sitting over there. It's like, you know, the reason why he doesn't work is because you're just kind of like, hey, man, fucking, this is a scene where you're not going to fight somebody. You know, this is a scene where you don't have to be angry. This is a scene where you don't beat somebody's ass. Jai, smile, man, smile. This is the love scene. Smile. Huh? What? Shit, that's him about to fuck right there.
Yeah. Okay. In this scene, you're upset. Okay, let's try this again. You're upset in this scene. You understand? He doesn't get it. Let's just go with how he did it.
I love you, Kyle. I love you too. Shit, fuck, man. God damn. You know, just punch in the face. Shit, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you who is good in the movie, because we keep talking about how the people in the film are not emotionally bringing it as much as Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's funny because he has a blank expression through the whole film, but he's still the most, you know, the most emotional person. J.K. Simmons. He actually shows where this movie succeeds in certain areas, such as the humor. Even though he's in it for about 5 minutes. But for somebody to leave an impression on you for the few minutes that they have, the limited time that they have, he's actually pretty good.
Listen to me. My name is O'Brien. No. Hey, I've been working this case for 33 years. Sit down!
I don't. Have a seat. I'll stand. I don't give a fuck.
Hey!
Yeah.
It's impossible. You can't see that.
Why are they always trying to kill you? I want to help you. I do. I think. But I gotta understand. I know what's going on here has to be really, really complicated.
We're here to stop the end of the world.
I can work with that.
He's like, I had to fucking ask. but he's like I say, he's not in the movie a lot. So when you see him and you love him from Whiplash or some other things you've seen, don't get too used to him because he's not in there all that long. But when he is, he makes the most of it.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to go back and watch the first movie because I was like, okay, it has this feel like he was in the first movie. That's why they brought him back. So I want to see him when he was young, and his role, like, I wouldn't even call it a cameo. He was like an extra almost.
What, in this film?
No, in the first film.
So his character is in the first film.
Yeah, but it's like it flashes so quick you wouldn't even know. He's one of the cops that lives through that whole police shootout, only because there's a point where he takes his eyes off Kyle Reese and Kyle hits him in the back of the head and he's knocked out, and that's all you really see of him.
God damn you and your research. Anyway, but good point.
Yeah, it's a good thing he watched those movies.
You know what I fucking hate about this?
What?
I was late today. I sat here and took notes all day on this movie. What this fucker do? He just sat down and watched the Terminator.
You probably should have done that.
I know. Now I'm thinking like, well, shit. I just throw this fucking notebook across the room and forget about everything I had to talk about. But that's But the good thing about it is that you're actually making me want to go see the first film again.
Yeah, it was fun watching the two back to back. I'd never done that before.
And I tell you, man, you're actually making me. You're making me like be more forgiving of some of the things that I have to say about this film.
Oh shit! Starting again.
What's starting? What the hell are you talking about?
Terminator thing where he convinces you to give it something high.
No, he will never do that to me again. I'm having to sit there because this is the shit that he did to me on Terminator Salvation. This is why I walked out like, full price. Yeah, I blame you. You bullied me into that shit. Yeah, you did. That and Indiana Jones and that
when
and the
have I
alien
ever
fucking
bullied
thing.
you into something?
Man, I was hanging out with you, and I'm not going to mention who the other person is, but I said, man, that Terminator Salvation, man, where we went all that good. And you're like, what? What are you talking about? It was you and somebody else. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Now you're nitpicking. Now you're just being, you love the Terminator so much you can't respect this one for trying something different. And I'm just like, all right, I love it. You did that shit.
That doesn't compute to me in as much as when I want to convince you of something, I have to make you think it was your idea.
You know what? But you will not do this to me again. Time will not repeat itself right now. Because I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah, because
I'm glad
I brought
me
money on that shit.
Did I?
Yeah, he did. $10.
Well, you know what, brother? You can depend on me tonight because I tell you something. As much as you're trying to make me get that nostalgia back, you're breaking me down a little bit. I look at scenes in here where I say, yeah, it did fall apart in the second half, not even like the third act. That's when it hit that pattern of doing just a standard chase after every other scene of either meaningless setup or fan service, and especially the scene with this scene with the bus right here. This was so pointless to me, and it was that kind of scene where they just did it because they want to fucking do it. I mean, you look at this. Okay, yeah, we can take Schwarzenegger driving through traffic, hitting cars, getting knocked around, but this right here. This scene on the bus?
Where is he? Do you see him?
Do you see that?
I know.
That bus is
like having him go that high. I'm like, nobody survives that crash.
That bus would have won like a silver medal. God damn, that's pretty high up for a bus.
That bus actually pole vaulted up in the air, man. That bus is fucking horizontal, upside down.
Does it stick
in the
the
air.
landing?
And she had her seatbelt on at least.
Kyle Reese did not.
No.
And then
that motherfucker would be at the bottom of that right now.
He would,
already injured.
He would be
let alone,
soup.
Yeah.
He would not. It would be a jacket and some liquid.
Exactly.
And then when the bus from that shit right there, when it, as you say, sticks his landing, they come back. All right, not even Sarah Connor would survive that, but she's in the. We're like, okay, it's a movie. But then Kyle Reese is sitting in the same fucking scene he was in.
Nah, man.
And he's like, oh, what happened? It's like, fuck you, man.
Anybody get the number of that truck?
Yeah. No. Y'all are not Terminators. I don't buy that shit. Fuck you. That was kind of the flipping point for me right there. He said, am I gonna finish that clip? You want to finish the clip? Okay, here you go, man. Whoa, glad we just went that extra mile for that.
Let's see, I didn't even know about the extra hit before the
Okay,
line.
I guess that really does make sense. You see how hard
Yeah,
that shit hit?
Well, you know it had to
been-
land, and unless it pulled a Walking Dead and just landed lightly on the tire.
I thought it was going to do some simple shit like that. But no, it did. Oh, yeah, they would have been done for.
No, I'm expecting that shit to go.
Both of them would have been dead. What
I'm
are you
expecting that shit to
talking
go to
about?
orbit. You know,
Yeah.
as far as it went. It should have been a satellite. You know, fuck this, man. You know,
shit.
This irritates me so much because there's so much potential that this movie has. And the last thing that pisses me off, that really, really pushed me over right here, and this before I even got into the movie, because I said, you know what? I'm going to give this film the benefit of the doubt that they have something in store that I don't know. This trailer didn't spoil it for me, but no, I have to pose the question, who is the fucking moron that was part of their marketing team? Who is the fucking idiot that went in and edited this trailer? Because you've seen the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, don't watch what I'm about to show you right now, because they spoil something huge in this movie. Who is this actor? What's his name?
Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke.
Yeah.
Jason Clarke, who plays John Connor. Look at this big reveal right here.
Hi, Mom.
How can you be here? What are you doing?
John!
What have they done to my son?
Survive was what you taught me.
He's the bad guy in the movie. And I mean, I'm just telling you right now, so you don't go in expecting anything else if you've seen the trailer. And even the director here, the director's name is Alan Taylor. He did Thor: The Dark World. Even damn, Mark. Jesus, man. Somebody just shit in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Oh, shit.
Ugh,
Damn.
fuck.
Quite a reaction.
Yeah. God damn.
Guess he doesn't like that movie.
I didn't know I was in the room full of fans of Thor: The Dark World.
I mean, it wasn't everybody. Well, that's not that we don't blame you for your action. We just didn't expect it that much. I mean, you've heard relatives die where you didn't act like that. I mean, god damn, man. He directed Thor: The Dark World. God damn, fuck. I know. He's like, over in the corner. And shit. Mark, no.
Yeah, like,
You know, on you. But yeah, even he looked at this and he said, why did y'all do that to my movie?
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
there's an article out today.
Yeah, he put out there, he's like, you know, when they look at this and they get mad, they're not going to blame the studio. They're not going to blame the editor. They're going to look at me and be like, what the fuck was wrong with that guy? Like,
Right.
I had control over this. And I feel bad for the guy because I watched it and I said, man, that right there, that scene, when you watch it, I looked at the film and I said, yeah, that should have been something that people went in cold on. And like when they shot him right there, you should have been like, oh shit. And then you see the trailer, you're like, oh, I saw this already.
It's a weird thing to me because watching it all play out, I was like, okay, him being shot is effective, but I'm like, it's a bit telegraphed that something's not kosher with this dude when he comes up saying, hey, I'm John Connor, I'm here, right off the bat. And it's something that plays in so many of the movies. It's like you get a rhythm for it. But also, it's one of these things where if that was like the last 30 minutes, I'd be like, well, man, you really spoiled it. But I don't know. That happens halfway through the film. Then the whole rest of it is that.
This is what we call being forgiving. You know,
halfway through the film is pretty significant, though, Martin.
Yeah, Tommy, but you got a whole other half going on with this happening. It's not one of like the last minute reveal.
Okay.
No, Tommy, no.
So basically, they repeated what they did in Salvation. They did.
I mean, honestly, it's a thing where it's like, yeah, it's fucked that they told you that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have. But
would it have made it any better?
You would have been like, I don't know about this right off the bat.
Okay. No, it would have made it much better. Would have made it much better. The dude,
not much
the
better.
fucking dude that did this, they should have.
Okay, Tommy, you're a smart guy. You would have figured it out.
No,
Korey,
the dude that did this, they should have sent a Terminator after his ass and make sure he was never born, so they would never fucking.
Well, they
do
should
this.
never do that with movies.
No, they shouldn't. They should not.
They really should.
And I don't know why Terminator movies are the ones they do it to the
Right,
most.
it's just his franchise. They can't help themselves.
Yeah. Anyway, people, you know, I was flip flopping between a rental and a low matinee. And I think the movie's fun. I'm not going to say don't see it. I'm not going to say that you can't go in and you can't have fun with it. There's a lot there to enjoy. I just think with this right here, when you had two movies that are considered classics, especially one that was an innovative film, for this to come in and just have so many missteps, so many missed opportunities, there's a lot of disappointment there. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a high rental for me. Okay. Well,
I mean, you see it as like, wow, you had these two iconic movies, and you come in with this disappointment's kind of a misstep. And I'm like, yeah, you had these two iconic movies, and then you had, a much lower step, and then just stepping your foot in some shit after that. So look at it from that point of view. I'm like, all right, it was better than those. It got more on track. It was a movie where, like, all the fun stuff I liked, that was a lot higher to me when I came out of it. I was kind of pumped. I was like, it's not great, but I had a good time. But over the last couple of days, thinking back to it, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't really all that great, though. I mean, the stuff that's good, I really liked, and there's a lot of things in there that's kind of like, meh. Ultimately, I come down to just, I still liked it a shade better than you.
This is the most confusing thing. I'm like, I liked it, I didn't like it.
But that's how it was for me. When I first came out, I was excited about it, and then the more I was like,
okay, so what's your rating then?
It's a low matinee.
He got confused himself.
Yeah, I did. With all the ratings going, I was like, wait, what happened?
He didn't know what the fuck. He even lost his own path on trying to find out what that was. Yeah,
better than sex. Wait, what'd I say?
So if you would have reviewed this same day, you probably would have given this a higher matinee.
Yeah, full price.
See,
see, yeah. What
is it with you guys in these Terminator movies?
I gave it a rental, man. Don't blame me.
Okay.
Y'all
are hypnotized by that shit immediately afterwards, and then.
You know what I think he really did?
What?
I think his whole thing was he went on Rotten Tomatoes and saw that it was tracking.
Now
poorly,
he hates Rotten.
Now you know that's a fucking lie.
he lives to talk shit to Rotten Tomatoes, and that's what happened. He saw that it was tracking about 20-something%, and he's like, you know what? Just because it's Rotten Tomatoes, I got to give it a higher rating. I got to champion this fucking movie. I know how you are, man. It's all right, buddy.
Shut up.
I'll
be back.
What?